We're here with Vipin Mayar, Executive Vice President, Global Director of Marketing Performance for McCann Worldgroup, and Geoff Ramsey, co-founder and CEO of eMarketer, straight off the stage from IAB Innovation Days at Internet Week. They're both authors of an upcoming book called Digital Impact, which comes out next week, and hopefully they'll tell us a bit about what it is. What's it about?
Well, in constructing the book, we first realized that there's two fundamental problems out there. The first one is that marketers are struggling to figure out how to measure everything they're doing online. We all know that the internet is supposedly the most measurable medium out there, and yet we struggle with so many different metrics, we don't know which ones to choose, and then we often default to the click-through because it's very easy, but that ignores so much of the value of online advertising. And by the way, we haven't figured out how to measure offline or non-digital advertising either. The second thing is that in this day and age where people are digitally connected and they can choose to ignore your ads, zip past them, obliterate, click through, close out things, and choose all of the content that they want to see and ignore everything else, it's really, really hard to reach that nirvana we call engagement. So how do you break through, and then how do you measure all of the activities that are going not just explicitly, but in the consumer's mind? And we think we figured that out.
Why did you see a need for this book in the marketplace?
Looking at all the marketers we work with, we felt there was a crying need for frameworks and methodologies and tips that address the two main areas of the book. One is how do you really create engaging magnetic content, and B, how do you build in the performance measurement system. So here in one place, we cover all the main 6 digital channels from search, display, social, mobile, email, and we then also have some methodologies around connecting online and offline, which again is a big need in the marketplace around how do you balance online and offline. So all in one place, felt there's a big need for it. We haven't seen anything in one place in this area.
Earlier today, Randall Rothenberg talked about the importance of bringing more brand advertising online and distinguish it from direct response advertising. I'm wondering if the recipe that you're presenting for maximum digital impact differs at all, whether it's for brand advertising or direct response model.
I mean, it's a really interesting question. The principles apply to both, because as we explain about the importance of various things to do magnetic content, there are things about uniqueness, there's things about value and usefulness. Those apply to both areas. We also then talk about a third concept called fun and entertainment, which can be different in the two mediums. So the principles are the same. How you apply it in direct response is going to be slightly different than how you apply it to brand, but the concepts apply to both places.
The theme of today is the future of display. Looking ahead a year from now, what do you think will be an overarching, very popular functionality or ad format?
Well, ad formats come and go, and there is an absolute proliferation of different ad formats. We've seen a whole new slew of them today. I wouldn't put bets on any single one of them, but what I would do is put a bet on the bigger overarching concept of magnetic content. And that is, instead of the interruption-disruption model, where I interrupt the content that you came to see, whether it's on my mobile phone or on the website, with some kind of content, which is an ad, that's just, wait, I don't want to see that right now. I'm trying to read this content, or I'm trying to watch this video. If we instead don't try to distract, but attract, and that's why we call it magnetic content, we create content as marketers with the help of our ad agencies and maybe other partners that is going to be inherently interesting, useful, compelling, and entertaining. In other words, marketers are essentially competing with publishers and broadcasters and even Hollywood to create content that's going to be welcomed by the consumer such that they want to share it with others. That's the biggest overarching concept.
Making content that's magnetic to consumers is definitely challenging, and I think it's a big piece of bringing more brand advertising online. What do you think are one of the biggest challenges, to attracting more brand advertising to the interactive space?
It really comes to showing the value of doing brand advertising, i.e. having examples and cases and measurement systems that show that brand advertising really works. People still look for proof points because there's muscle memory. that brand advertising, oh, that's television. But no, these days, if you look at social, mobile, display ads, there's very effective, compelling cases. So challenge number one is having the right measurement system so you can really show that brand advertising works online. And secondly, merchandising and communicating those cases so that people realize that, yes, it can be done for their brand and their category.
Great. And so as the head of eMarketer, I'm very curious to know one statistic that you've seen in the last week that's very much surprised you.
Well, it was, in fact, one of eMarketer's own statistics, and I wasn't expecting how high it would be. I knew that we were going to be raising our overall forecast for online advertising this year to about 20%, which is what we came up with. What I didn't realize was that display advertising, which is why we're all here at the IAB Display Conference, is actually going to grow faster than the overall market at 24.5%. And by the way, eMarketer's number is higher than any other researchers out there, but I guarantee you over time, we're going to see more and more research companies and media houses come up with numbers that are at our level of 24.5% or even higher. So expect a very, very exciting year ahead.
Great. Thank you very much.